Welcome friends, I'm Sarah with Cleopatra's Crochet. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this toy toast. I've designed this to be a complementary size to the fried egg, which I've already released in a video tutorial, and I'll have that linked down in the description. The supplies you're going to need for this project are a 4.5mm crochet hook, scissors, a tapestry needle, and a stitch marker, along with yarn and 2 different colors. Now this is your medium weight 4 basic acrylic yarn that you can find in pretty much any supply store. It is in a light brown and a dark brown. You can also use a white for the main body of the toast or in a brown. Use whatever you have. I'm not going to give you any yardage for this project because it uses so little that it's a great stash busting project. To begin, we're going to form a slip knot, just like so. Put it onto our crochet hook, and we're going to chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now we're going to rotate the chain so we see the back of it. And the first row is just half double crochets across the chain. And when you first make your chain and turn, you don't go into the first stitch, so we're going to lose a stitch. And we'll have 10 half double crochets for row 1. We're going to wrap our yarn around the hook, go into our first stitch, and make a half double crochet. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that's what the end of row 1 will look like. At the end of each row, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And then you can begin working back the other direction. So that was row 1. Repeat this exact same thing for rows 2 through 7. So you're just going to perform 10 half double crochets and then a chain and turn before working back in the other direction. And I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera to save some time, and I will meet you at the end of row 7. This is what you should have at the end of row 7, and to confirm that we've done this correctly, you should have a rectangle. Your stitches shouldn't be curving in or out. And another way to double check that you've done this correctly is to count your rows and your stitches. Here is row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I have the correct number of rows. Let's make sure we ended up with the correct number of stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that is correct. Now we can move on to row 8. We're going to make our chain and turn again. And row 8, you're going to make some increases. An increase is where you just put 2 of the same stitch into 1 stitch of the row below. And normally that's done with a single crochet, but I'm going to do it with a half double crochet. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, I'd appreciate it if you just took a second to like and subscribe. It helps me grow this channel so that I can continue making videos like this for you. And now we'll continue on to row 8. Row 8 is the increases we were just talking about. So we're going to take and do 2 half double crochets into the same first stitch, and then we'll do that a second time. So into the same stitch, that's a second half double crochet, that's an increase. Now we're going to do that a second time, half double crochet and half double crochet. Now we have 6 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, that stitch came off my hook, and 6. And on the other side, we're going to repeat it to make it symmetrical. Half double crochet increase, and then another half double crochet increase. So that's make 1 half double crochet. Now work into the same stitch to make it an increase, and a final half double crochet increase. Finish with a chain and turn. At the end of row 8, you should have 14 stitches. And a good way to confirm that is just to go ahead and count and make sure that that 14 stitches, which appears in the brackets, is the correct number at the end of the row. For row 9, all you're doing is 14 half double crochets, so 1 half double crochet in each stitch. And I'll go ahead and do that with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and the last one's on the edge, 14. Now we do another chain and turn. Row 10 is a half double crochet decrease. So normally to make a decrease, you'd go into your first stitch, pull up a loop, go into your second stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull through. That makes a single crochet decrease, but we're working in half double crochets. So instead, going to loop the yarn around your hook one time as if you're doing a half double crochet. Then you can go into the first stitch and pull up a loop, go into the second stitch and pull up another loop. Now there's 4 loops on your hook, and go ahead and pull through all of them to make a decrease. Now we're going to make half double crochets across and make another decrease on the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And you have one more half double crochet decrease. So again, I'm going to loop around my hook, work into my first stitch, and pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, and pull up another loop, and there's 4 loops on the hook. And now do the final pull through to make your stitch. And here is the end. And we need to switch colors of yarn now. So go ahead and cut your yarn. Take your hook and pull through and tighten to form a knot. And we're going to switch to the dark colored yarn. I'm going to make a slip knot and place this on my hook. And now all we're doing to make the border is a single crochet all the way around the perimeter. And the only trick to that, so I'm going to go into that last stitch, pull up a loop, and make a single crochet. And now, so I don't have to weave in the ends, I'm just going to hold this along the side and work over top of it. And when I'm at a corner, I'm going to make 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So you can see it's just 1 all the way across the sides, but then when you get to a corner, make 2 in each of the corners. And that just gives you a little bit more to wrap around each edge, and it won't start puckering on you and pulling tight. It'll help it lay flat. So let's go ahead and do that. I've done my first stitch here. This I'm going to call the corner, and I'm going to make 2 stitches into that same hole. And it doesn't really matter where you go. As you do this more often, you'll be able to find a nice hole kind of along each row separation. But it doesn't really matter exactly where you're going into your work. It more matters that you're spacing it evenly. So again, I just did 1 here. I'm going to do 2 here, so that I can wrap around the corner just a little bit easier. And again, this tail, I'm just holding it in place and working, let's do 1 here, over top of it so that I don't have to weave it in later. If you don't want to mess with that, that's fine. You can just weave in the tails at the end. At the corner again, make 2 into the same stitch just to be able to make it around that corner a little bit easier. Okay, now I'm going to work the rest of the perimeter, and I'll meet you back here and show you how to weave in tails and finish. I've finished single crocheting around the perimeter and reached the beginning, and all you need to do is work into that first single crochet and make a slip stitch to close. Then you're going to trim your yarn, pull through to form a knot, and then we'll go ahead and weave in the end. This is where you need a tapestry needle, and I can never get this to not split, so I usually fold it in half, and then I can work it onto the needle. And to weave in, I recommend going in between stitches. And I also recommend working back and forth, not just in one direction, because when you work back and forth and double back on yourself, it's going to hold it in place better. So now I'm going to go this way and do it a couple times until you feel like it's secure, and then you can go ahead and trim any excess. Again, working the other direction now. 1 final pull and trim the excess. And then we can press it flat, and there's your toast. If you want a thicker piece of toast, or you want to fight any of the curling that can occur sometimes with your crochet projects, another alternative is to crochet 2 of these inner pieces of the bread, put them back to back, and then work them together with the perimeter of the darker yarn, and that'll make it a little bit thicker of a piece of toast if that's something that you're interested in. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And also a reminder again that this project was meant to accompany the fried egg, which is a tutorial that I've already released, and that link will be down in the description of this video.